Alrighty, what's up guys? Today we are going to be doing a MultiVersus perk tier list with my homie Milk is going to be helping me out. We're going to walk through and we're going to discuss a whole bunch of the different perks and talk about what characters they're good on, what characters they're not good on, which ones we think are good, which ones we think suck, and hopefully that'll give you guys a basis for strategy when it comes to building your ideal ranked duo teams. When I log in and when Milk is back from the bathroom.
Alright, which one of us is getting the bad pain?
Well, no, remember, we're just going to go through the different perks and stuff.
Yeah, I know. I thought that we were gonna go and play while doing it, though. So then you'd have gameplay for the background.
I can record that differently. I mean, if it's open, we can look at and have the data on the screen and stuff like that. So I reckon we just do all red ones first. I'll call them out.
Right.
We'll talk about them. The training
go to
one.
the lab. Yeah, go to the lab so you can access all the perks.
I want to just have them on screen so we can see what they are.
Practice. Oh yeah, but then again, you know.
It's the lab.
There you go. Because they changed what most bonuses here. It's not gonna be. There we go. Here's the full list.
Oh.
You'll see what I mean by fucking.
I'm in the lab.
Back. It went from it's 6%, right? Remember when it used to be 3% or 4%, and then it would go up to like 6%.
Oh, here we go. I can change it.
Back to back. Yeah, now it's at 6% up to 12.
Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of fucking nutty. Only once. I've never heard of it. Oh, okay.
It's a renamed one. Yep. All right. Are you ready to get started?
Okay.
Or are you happy rambling? Right. So I'm gonna read out the first couple just to make sure we have the same order.
Okay.
So shirt cannon, sniper, deadshot, lumpy space punch. Okay, yep, cool. So we'll just go from left to right, top to bottom. So first off, shirt cannon, sniper. I think this one's really niche.
Goes projectiles deal 7%. I think it's very map dependent.
It is very map dependent.
I do like that it stacks very, very well. It has a 50.1% increase.
The other problem is that if you're both using this, either one person is getting nothing out of it because they have to be close to the enemy team, or both of you are getting nothing out of it because you're both close to the enemy team because you're both ranged. I think it's kind of bait.
Let's say one person's, it's going to be a wasted slot, right? Because one person's not going to get use out of it.
Yeah.
If you both try and get use out of it, what's going to happen is they're just going to run up to you and you don't get that 15% damage increase.
Yeah.
Because although I think the damage increase, it could work, it's very dependent on map and what the enemy team is playing. Because if you play this into Finn and Arya Stark, you're never going to get use out of it.
A lot of bruises as well, yeah.
Like, it is just not going to happen. Or like Wonder Woman, especially with her being able to pull you in.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get much use out of it.
So, final rate, pretty crap.
It's on like a scale of like S is the highest, F is the lowest. It's probably going to sit around like
E.
Low C, high D, because like
wow, that's high.
Good, but it's very, very situational.
I think there's other stuff that does the same thing, but just better. I think it's an E.
Yeah, I think it's 15% increase is what's carrying it, honestly. But I feel like it's somewhere around like not quite good enough to where it's worth it, but it can be used. It's not completely worthless.
Alright, next one. Deadshot. Your team deals 5% increased damage to the projectiles, 10% instead if you have both players with it. I think
So
this
it has
is
a
just
50%
better.
increase.
I think this is just straight up better than
Yeah,
Shirt Cannon Sniper. Because it's
I
just
actually think it's a really good
always.
perk.
I think it's
Especially
okay.
with Tom and Jerry. Especially with Tom and Jerry, though, and Velma. One of the best characters in the game having a 10% increase to their damage.
Yeah, I think
Kind of
it's
insane.
gonna be good if you have. I think it's gonna be good for something like Batman and Velma, or like
Yeah,
Iron
definitely.
Giant and Velma, maybe, where you have the tank that also has projectiles. If you're playing double
The thing
projectiles, I
is,
wouldn't play
there's two
Deadshot.
guys with that too. I think Deadshot is going to be all around more useful because most characters have at least one projectile based ability, so it's not going to be one person gets no use out of it.
Yeah,
It's going to make them want to play at more of a range without having to go and deal with the thin bullshit.
yeah, having people run at you.
Yeah. What do you rate
Okay.
this?
Final rating. I think this is B tier.
Yeah, I think it's definitely high B. It's not quite A, but it's a solid perk.
Yeah,
Most characters can use it.
yeah. I think that's fair. Alright, Lumpy Space Punch. Your team deals 5% increased damage of melee attacks in the air, 10% if your ally has this as well. I think this is like really character dependent.
It is very character dependent. I think someone like Batman, who gets most of his utility out of playing
The aerial juggle.
off the ground,
Yeah. Yeah,
be
same with
very,
Harley
very good
Quinn.
versus someone like, yeah, especially, but someone like Az isn't going to get any use out of this because most of his combos require you to be on the ground.
Yeah. It is
I
true.
think it's character dependent.
Yeah, I think it's too niche to be like just universally good. I think that's going to take away from the rating I give it.
I
And
think
it's another
very
one of
young
those things
characters.
where you're probably not going to have both players with it because only one of you is really going to get the maximum value out of it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like middle of the pack, like C tier.
Yeah, I agree. C tier.
Alright,
Alright,
so
Collateral
then to round two.
Damage. Your team deals 1 additional
Mm.
damage when knocked back enemies collide with a wall or floor, and if both players have it, is 2 additional damage. I think this is stage dependent, which is kind of the
I
worst
think it's
kind.
stage and character, because like with Steven, he would definitely find use in this, but
Yeah, I think Steven is really the only one
other
that
than
gets the
that, I
most
can't
value out
think
of
of
it.
anyone.
If there's
Maybe
characters
Jake.
that can reliably knock people into the floor, maybe.
Yeah, like Jake, for example, with his all of his down abilities, like his house, his boat, his skateboard.
Skateboard, yeah, skateboard
Yeah, his
comboing 3
skateboard,
times.
especially into the Iron Giant matchup, I think that this would be good, but it's situational,
Again, it's
honestly.
character dependent and then also pretty rare.
And stage dependent, because like if you take this on Steven or Jake on
Treehouse.
like the Scooby Doo map.
Or the
Oh
Scooby Doo
yeah,
map.
Treehouse would also work.
Treehouse, yeah.
I was thinking Scooby Doo because there's a lot more area to go and bounce up and down.
True. You know, it has the most side walls, but they come and go.
True.
Alright.
Yeah.
Final rating? It's kind of low, I think. I think high D
Yeah, I think
tier,
it's gonna
low
be
C.
yeah, high D or high C, low D.
Alright.
I don't see it being any better.
That's
Oh no,
not...
I got that mixed up. I meant high D, low C.
Yeah,
I'm smart
we knew what you meant.
sometimes.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Next one is That's Not All, folks. Bringing out enemies while near the blast zone pushes the attacker back towards the center of the map. And then if your ally also has it, the push is stronger and larger.
I do not see a single use for this, unless if you're playing like Taz, who needs to
Honestly,
be
if
on
you've
stage.
already used both jumps, both specials, and both dodges, then,
Yeah, but
you know...
it's like, let's say, no, let's say that there are a lot of movement options and you kill one of them, the other guy's just gonna get thrown into the stage,
Yeah.
which is gonna reset their jumps. All it does is harm you.
Yeah, I don't know that it's really that good.
I'm gonna throw this one in F tier. I don't see a
I
single...
also think this is F tier. I think this is one of those things where it's like, maybe someone will find niche success for it, otherwise it's garbage.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that it's just wasting a slot, because you only get 3 slots, right?
Exactly.
Realistically, what scenario would I want to run this in?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like something like Tune Elasticity
Something over
where
anything else. That's the
you're
other
on the
thing,
right map.
is that so many other things are just better often. Like, you
Yeah,
get more
exactly.
miles per gallon on so many things. Alright,
Yeah,
so yeah.
honestly, I just don't see use, so Yes,
Definitely
very,
F
very
tier.
low D, almost F.
I think F tier. That's fine. All right, next one. Painted
Oh,
target.
right. Yeah.
Your team deals 5% increased damage when hitting enemies that are in hit stun. 10% increased damage if your ally also selects this perk. I think this one is good on some juggle champs.
Oh,
Like
yeah, definitely. Like,
Superman's juggle, and I
yeah,
think Shaggy's juggle as well.
Iron Giant and Shaggy have pretty good juggle. I could see this working out.
Yeah. Yeah, let me move my...
I don't know how well it would work because I haven't personally tested it yet, so you know, but honestly, it could work on some characters. I don't think it's a bad perk.
Is that going to be...
What are you thinking?
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I'm thinking I'm stupid. I tried to move some of the stuff right on my screen, and I thought flipping the camera horizontally would work, but all the text is backwards.
You know what? You tried. It's the thought that counts.
I did tried. Said we were gonna move this over here.
Actually, we could go into a custom match, and then we can test this stuff if you want.
Yeah, we can do it after. I just want to do like a quick rundown,
Okay.
you know.
Alright,
That looks
so
okay. I'll move the
what's
chat
next?
box.
It's gonna be Snowball Effect.
Yes.
Oh, they finally changed Snowball Effect. It's actually worth using now. It's only your team deals 7% increased damage against fighters with highest damage. So now only your
was it
team, the
before?
team with the Snowball Effect. Before the enemy, I'm pretty sure the enemy team could actually use Snowball Effect.
Oh, it was
It
like
just
the fighter
says,
with the highest damage takes increased damage, whatever it was.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
right.
fighter with the highest damage takes increased damage, and it was like, this is 9 times out of 10 gonna harm your team.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the double-edged sword that you take on the super aggressive assassin character.
Yeah, with this now, I think it's definitely... I think it's gonna work good. I think it's gonna be actually used more
I think it's
now
gonna
that
be.
it's not gonna be
I think
harming
it's
your
gonna be
team.
good on assassin characters. Like if you're
Yeah,
playing a really aggro team.
yeah, if you're playing aggro teams who can get high DPS out, then 100% run Snowball Effect.
Like a Rain Dog Finn.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, because Finn can jump off the map and not have to be afraid because Raindog will just throw them back on.
Mm.
Or someone like Harley Quinn who can play off the map better.
And you
You
just
wouldn't have to
chase
run
down that
Raindog
one
anymore, and
person.
you'd have... Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You could have double chase down.
Okay, next
Alright,
up.
what are you thinking on this? No, we didn't even rate it.
Final
We
rating.
didn't even rate it.
I
Final
think
rating,
A
what are we
tier. I
feeling?
think A tier.
I'm thinking high B. I don't think it's quite an A tier perk, because
Okay.
not every single comp is gonna have a use for it. Like, for example, Iron Giant can't do much with it,
Hmm.
or Steven can't do much either, honestly.
Which is as long as you're not behind, you're getting a boosted damage effect, basically.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So if your teammate is carrying you and you're not taking that much damage, then yeah, it'll do stuff. I also think it's gonna be doing stuff often as opposed to some stuff that's like more situational than it is.
Yeah, it's not gonna be something weird like Toon Elasticity where it can be used pretty often, but it's not often enough to where it's actually worth, or like Wonder Twin Powers, or what's it called
Yeah,
now? Back to back.
back to back. I liked the old name. Anyway. Alright, next one.
Yeah.
Make it rain, dog. Your team receives 20% increased projectile speed, up to 25% if you both pick it. Which means that if you both pick it, it's kind of garbage. It's
I
not,
don't
it's not
think the
really worth the
25%
extra
increase
5.
is gonna do much.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think it's you run it 1 on your team, and I think that this could be good on characters like Velma.
Yep.
Solar projectiles.
Yeah. I wonder if
So
Velma
I
Iron
think
Giant goes hard with Make It Rain Dog, Projectile
I
Grey Health, and then Fire Projectile.
think Make It Rain Dog is gonna be good. So you have one person run Make It Rain Dog, the other one will run the Grey Health perk because
That's
neither
true,
are
that's
worth
true.
running 2
They
of.
both don't stack, that's right.
Yeah, that'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Alright.
So Make It Rain Dog, I think, is B tier, not quite A tier. It's very good, but I don't think, one, it doesn't stack very good, and two, I don't think
Yeah.
that many teams can use it.
It stacks poorly and it's not universally good, so I'm thinking high, or yeah, high C, maybe like low B.
Mm.
Just because it doesn't have a very good variety of uses.
Yeah.
It's very,
Okay.
very limited.
Next up, Wildcat Brawler. Your team deals 5% increased damage melee attacks on the ground, 10% if your ally also takes this perk.
This
This
has
is
the
the
same
Taz
problem as
perk.
Lumpy Space Punch.
It does, yeah. It's the same perk but different place. Same
Yes,
with all of the
it's just the
directional
opposite
ones
place.
as well.
Yeah, it's
The
just gonna
up
be.
up and a sleigh and percussive punch power.
Yeah, I just don't see much use for it. I think it's gonna go in the same place as we placed Lumpy Space Punch, where it's like middle of the pack kind of C.
Yes.
Okay.
A great time for me to have a sneeze. Fucking hell.
Alright, so we're gonna go and place it C tier.
Yeah.
Second, Wind Beneath Your Wings. I hate the new name.
That's awful.
It's an awful new name, but it's a good perk.
Really?
I think it'll be good. Yeah, I think it'll be good on characters who can jump off the map like Harley Quinn,
Oh, just
who
juggle
can play
champs.
off the
Because
map.
it feels like,
Yeah,
to me,
exactly. You
it's the
can juggle
same
them.
thing as That's Not All, folks. You get a kill,
Because
and
that's
then
not.
you have better maneuverability to recover.
No, because
But this
that's
one,
not
you
all
get more
folks.
control.
Yeah, this one you have more control. That's not all folks. It's
It just
it's just not
launches
gonna be
you.
that helpful. It just throws you towards the stage. But
Yeah.
with Wind Beneath Your Wings, you can actually choose to stay down there, and you can continue fighting without having to be thrown into the stage. I feel like having your special back is
I
gonna be
wonder if
very
running
helpful.
both of them is worthwhile.
I don't know how that'll even work out.
Like, you go jump, jump, dodge, dodge, special, special, kill one person, jump, jump, dodge, dodge, special, special, kill the second person, and then get launched back to the stage
Exactly.
by the That's Not All, folks.
True, but then here's what happens is Finn comes out, he turns into a Beyblade and just kills you, and it's
Kills
just
you
like, well,
instantly
thanks.
anyway, and you're like, well, I might as well have just rung out and saved my HP. Yeah, I
So
think
how
this
does
is
winning
average.
matchups?
I think second win beneath your wins is average at best.
I think it's a little bit above average. I think it's still C tier, but I think it's on the higher end.
Yeah, I agree. I think CTR.
Because it definitely has a use, it's just not great for everyone.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead
Alright,
and
next up is
bundle
Up
up,
Up.
up, and a sleigh. Percussive punch power exactly the same as Lumpy Space Punch. It's just the same thing, in my opinion. Like, in the
Yeah.
same way,
At
some
least
things
it
are better
doesn't.
for some
I think it's a little
characters.
bit better, and here's why. It doesn't limit you to have to playing in one part of the stage, like having to be on the ground or having to be in the air. Instead, it's just flat out increase in knockback. I feel
Types
like
of your
that can be really
attacks.
good with something like
No, it doesn't increase the
the
knockback. It's more damage for those types of knockback attacks.
oh wait, madam. Yeah, okay, so it's increased damage, which will
Yeah.
eventually round up to more knockback. Okay,
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, I think it's just a better version of Lumpy Space Punch, or
Yeah, but I still don't think it breaches C tier.
oh yeah, definitely not, definitely not.
Alright, so let's go on to the next one. We've got Ice to
Yeah.
Beat You, the new ice projectile name.
This
Just
is
weird as
only gonna
fuck.
work in gimmick builds.
Yeah.
I don't see any use outside of gimmick builds with like Superman or Velma.
Yeah, I think Superman and I well actually remember I sent you the video of the comp footage and it was Tom and Jerry and Superman, I think,
Oh
that was running
yeah.
this. They got no freezes
Yes.
off, but the threat of it was pretty big.
The threat of it was pretty big, so it'd basically just be a run it at one, because you're probably not gonna freeze anyways.
Well,
I don't think it gets triggered enough to where it's actually
I think
scary.
if you're running Velma and Superman, you can run both. I think
Yeah.
if you're not running Velma and Superman, you maybe run one, and then,
Yeah.
like, if you're running
I think it's just
either,
for the threat,
right?
honestly.
Because you have the threat of actually freezing people. So maybe,
Yeah. It's not gonna
maybe.
happen often though, so I don't see it being ran at more than one.
Yeah, the thing is, if your skill level is high enough that a freeze equals a kill, then this is a really good perk. For the average
Oh, true.
person, it's probably good. You know,
It's
I think
good,
this
but
is
not
still A
great.
tier
I
because
think you
I
just have to
think,
get really good at freezing people.
well, yeah, you nail the freeze and then also nailing the confirm. On the stream earlier today, I got a freeze down with Velma, and then I went to do the
Yeah, I
charged
saw
light
that.
bulb moment, and I fucking missed it completely, and I was really upset. Um, So if that's going to happen to you a lot, obviously this would be pretty useless if
You
you
end up
can't
getting them
confirm.
anyways.
I think I did. I think
You
I
end
got
up
them
killing those, yeah.
afterwards. But yeah, I still think this is a solid A tier. And if the pros really get to abuse it, then maybe it's S tier. I still think A tier.
Maybe. So they changed Ignite, didn't they? Oh, that's Flammable Dog? That's a stupid name.
Yeah, so this is the next one. That's Flammable Dock. For 3 seconds after knocking back an enemy with a projectile, your team can merely attack that enemy to ignite them for 1 second. Or 2 seconds
What
if you
was
both take it.
how much was it at beforehand?
Double. Yeah, they cut it in half from the technical test because it was fucking broken.
Yeah,
I still think it's very, very strong.
I still think it's very, very strong, but I don't think it's racking up enough damage
I still think it's
where
like a
it can be
must
really
take.
abused.
I still think it's a must take on any.
Yeah, it's kind of like Flash or Teleport in League of Legends,
League of
where it's
Legends.
like, yeah, the cooldown is long, but like, you have to take some form of a movement secondary
Yeah.
ability.
It's
I
just,
still
it's going to
think, I
become
don't think it's S
standard.
tier anymore, I think it's A
I think
though.
it's top A tier, yeah. I
I think it's
agree.
the very, very top of A tier, but I don't think it's S tier anymore,
I think it's probably a must have for any ranged character.
honestly. Static Electricity. After allies move on the ground for 4 seconds, their next projectile applies shock to enemies, leaving them. Even ground restarts the timer.
So only 2 seconds if you both take it. So I think this is useless unless you both take it because you'll just never trigger it.
I don't see a single situation where you'd be on the ground for 4 seconds.
Yeah, so you have
That
to
is
run both.
way too long.
Yeah.
Because leaving the ground resets it, right? So even getting hit will
Yes,
reset it.
that's correct.
And you can't
Also,
move
there's
out
like
of
a
the way
lot
to
of
dodge, so
abilities,
all you can do is...
like Velma's freeze flask thing knocks her off the ground and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So you
that's
have to be
gonna be a big no.
mindful of those things. I think like maybe this becomes strong if you can really play around it, but you both have to
I
be
don't even
running
think
it.
that, because most people just hate you. They'll be like, oh, they're
Exactly.
charging up, I'm just gonna shoot a projectile, or
Yeah.
oh, they're charging up, let me just turn into a Beyblade real quick.
The circumstances to pull it off, I think, are too difficult for the payoff,
I don't...
for like the value.
I'm in between D and F tier, because
I don't think it's that
think it could
low.
be used.
I
No,
think
I
this
think
is
it's
one of
that
those
low.
things
I
where
just don't see a
your
use.
skill level determines how good it is, right?
Well, yeah, but then people, if you're playing at a high skill level, people are just gonna be like, oh, they're running
Gonna be
double
able to
static, I
zone
just need
you
to
as
hit them.
well. Yeah,
Just play super aggressive, and they will never get a use out of one, because mind you only get 3 slots, right?
that's
A
true.
total of 6. And for 1/3 of them to be taken up by a perk that never gets used, you might as well just not be running anything.
Well, I mean, you get a free activation after every ring out. You'll get a
Yeah, you
free
get free
activation
activation
if
after
you get
every
to
ring
knock them
out,
away from
so
you, and
at
that's about
most you
it.
get 3 activations, right?
Yeah.
That's the bare minimum, is 3 activations.
So I agree. I think D tier, but
Yeah,
like maybe
I
pros will
think
find a
D.
way to break it, but probably
Yeah,
D tier.
definitely. Only time's gonna be able to tell where really everything sits.
Yeah.
Kill them while they're down. Your team deals 5% increased damage when hitting debuffed enemies. Okay. Now, I know that this is gonna seem like another very, very gimmick-heavy perk, but think of how many different debuffs are in the game.
There's a lot. There's a lot of easy
There's a
ones to
lot,
apply,
exactly.
like weaken and stuff.
So that's basically a constant 5 to 10% increase in damage.
Especially if you're
And
also
9
running
times out of
something
10 they'll
like
be
Ice to
running
Beat
while doing
You
that.
or Ignite.
Or, yeah. I think it's very dependent on build.
Yeah, I think
it's
you have
good
to
enough
build
where it can
into it.
be B tier.
Yeah. I agree. I think this
Not
is
like
A or
high B
B.
tier, but maybe like low to mid B tier. Maybe mid B tier.
No, I think this is A or B. I think you can make this more consistent than something like Up in a Sleigh by building your team around it.
Alright, so we'll go and place it in the B tier, like middle of the pack, almost high tier.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Next one
Alright.
is I'll take that. Your team receives a half-second cooldown refund after hitting debuffed enemies. 1 second refund if your ally takes it as
Okay.
well.
real quickly, to give you an idea of how good this is, half a second doesn't seem like much. So let's go and look at the 1 second. When I was playing Jake,
Hmm.
because me and you would hit the enemy so often, I would always have my stretch ability up.
Yeah, and the
I maybe
stretchability
didn't have
cooldown
it
is
up
only
3 times.
like 3 or 4 seconds maximum.
Exactly. All you gotta
Yeah,
do is hit them like 4 times.
exactly.
Every single 4 hits your team does, you get the ability back.
Also with Velma, because she has the extra cooldown reduction thing, right? And that's the ability that you want the cooldown reduction on, because it speeds all your other stuff up so fast that you basically blast out a whole another combo. And with I'll take that, if you debuff somebody with your megaphone, because I think it applies weaken at the end of it, then you hit
Yes.
your ranged attacks, right? And that's 4 hits with all of
Yep.
your speech bubble ranged attacks. Like it's 4 seconds back off your. I think it's maybe 15 seconds on the cooldown thing. But then your allies are also hitting it as well and getting it as well, and it gets pretty quick.
Okay, but imagine that with Batman. His AoE smokes apply the
And the
slowness
slow,
debuff,
yeah,
meaning that that's going to be a free 10% increase, and every single time you hit them while they're unable to move and taking increased damage, right,
yeah.
you're going to get that smoke back.
So Velma Batman
It's
definitely
a
big
con.
include.
It's a
That could be really strong.
Yeah, exactly.
That
It's
could
going
be
to be a
really strong.
constant 10% damage increase, and you always have your abilities up.
Yeah, I think this is
So
an
I'm
A
thinking A
or an
tier.
S tier.
A, maybe even S.
Solid A,
Honestly.
sometimes S if you have champs that fit it really well.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright,
Alright, slippery when faint. Your team receives 10% increased dodge distance when dodging out of a attack hit cancel.
I think this one is way too hard to pull off
Yeah, I don't see it
consistently.
being that helpful. Because a lot of the defensive dodge perks, you're going to get more use out of.
I think a lot of the other dodge perks are better. The other thing is that this one, like 10% increase the dodge range. If your dodge is 10 pixels wide, you get 1 pixel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's still not going to be much.
So the increase, I don't think is enough to really make a big difference.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be massive.
So I think this
Alright,
is
I'm
probably
thinking
F.
that that's going to be B.
I think this
I
is
don't think
F.
it's quite useless, because you could imagine what you could do with it when you're hopping back on stage with the 20% increase.
Mm,
I feel like Harley Quinn would get use out of it with
mm.
the extra stage
Just
recovery.
play all dodge perks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Or Steven.
I'm
Steven
thinking
gets a
very, very
boost.
worthy.
He has a passive boost when he successfully dodges, doesn't he? Play 3 dodge perks
Does
on
he?
Steven. Yeah, I think he does.
Oh yeah, true.
So
Alright,
maybe
so we're thinking basically worthless.
E tier
Only like two.
still. I've resigned my F tier position up to an E tier. And
Now
then
we're
the
doing D.
last
Oh, I
one.
thought it was D, then F. I thought that we weren't doing E.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Not F
That
tier,
does
but
kind
not
of
good.
confusing. Yeah, it's like the cross between the two.
So now we've got our last one, Armor Crush.
Armor
Now this is
Crush.
brand new. This wasn't in a technical test.
Um,
And we don't see armor show up that often.
Also, okay, so fully charged attacks, that isn't gonna happen. 75%?
Oh, it does happen. There are some attacks that quick charge pretty quick.
True, but like most attacks require a little bit of wind up, and usually you fire them too early.
Yeah.
I feel like if they made it instead of full charged, like base 75, maybe 80%, and then it goes down to like 60%, it'd balance
Yeah,
out the
maybe.
perk and make it actually worth using. Because
Also,
there's
people
almost
don't
no
have
matchup where
armor
it
for
gets
so long
used.
that I feel like I have to break it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get that much use right now. But once they start releasing characters that actually have more armor-based abilities, I could see it actually finding use.
Yeah. So I say maybe D tier.
Yeah, for now it's gonna stay in D. It's not gonna have a use
Alright, now we
for a
get to
while.
move down to the defense
Doing
perks, of which there
elasticity.
isn't many. I'm
There is
seeing
not many.
10.
Oh,
Is that right? Have you
alright,
got
well,
10 as well?
yep, 10.
That's not very many. Okay. So first one, 2 in
Alright.
elasticity. Your team receives a 20% reduction to ground and wall bounce velocity, and then 25 reduction on stack. Now, obviously, doubling
Map
up
and character
sucks,
dependent.
and it is map and character dependent. This is the default one for Jake from memory, and I feel
Yeah.
like I just like the velocity is pretty good. Sometimes it can save you. Like it's better than damage reduction. It's better than um, better dodge, or what's something like the other one? Reduce damage,
Honestly, I'd run it
receives armor.
on map, depending on the map, right?
Mm,
If I'm playing something like Steven, it's a must use. Like, there's no. I don't see Steven being played without tune elasticity because you could get your team killed pretty easily with your
true,
shield.
true. It has happened.
Because your enemies can play off of it and it'll become very, very annoying for your teammate.
Yeah. But then your enemies can just as easily take 2 in elasticity and shut you down as Steven, in theory.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, very good for counter matchups. And like, let's say you're playing on, like I said earlier, the Scooby-Doo map. I could see it having a home, but I think it's situational use. It's not
Yeah,
a
I
must
agree.
use.
I
It's a
agree.
good perk though. Its base scale is good. I don't think it's
I
worth
I
running it
don't think
too.
you double up.
Yeah, no,
So what do you
definitely not.
reckon? Final score?
I think it's like B tier, low B.
Low B.
Yeah,
I
low to
would say
mid
C.
B.
I don't know that I would go as high as B. I think it's too
I don't.
situational to be B.
Honestly, I can, because like I can see it being used often enough, right?
Hmm.
Especially with Steven being such a complicated character and probably gonna be played at higher tiers. More people are gonna be using it. I don't think it has a home in like low level play, unless if you're actually gonna be the one who's playing Steven.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a good perk just because you don't have to run it at 2 for it to be useful, and it has a home and its own dedicated use, and it
Fair
doesn't
enough.
feel, and it's always active. You don't have to be like,
You
oh,
don't have
stand
to
on
be
the ground
doing
for
something.
one
Yeah,
second,
exactly.
or
Yeah.
don't be hit for 4 seconds to lower knockback by 20%. It's none of that bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a straight up active effect. Oh my god, why are they barking always? Um, but yeah, no, I definitely could see it having a home and a proper use.
Yeah. Alright, next one.
I'm sorry if you hear them barking.
Oh,
They're
it's
being very.
fine.
Here, I'll actually go and fix my sensitivity just a little bit on my microphone.
So next one, stronger than ever.
You'll be able to hear me fine without hearing them bark so much.
Probably. You sound okay.
Okay, you can hear them faintly. Here we
Yeah,
go.
it's fine. Stronger
Right
than
now you can only
ever.
hear them sometimes.
Your team receives armor for 5 seconds after respawning, 7 seconds if you stack.
Stronger than ever, your team seems 5 armor for.
What if you just
No,
never
no one's gonna
die?
ever use this. Just don't die. If
Just
you're
don't
dying off
die. This
enough where you
perk
have to
sucks.
use stronger than ever, I'm afraid that there is definitely a problem with your gameplay and not a problem with your perk selection.
Yeah. I think
So
this is
that's a
the perk
definite
that
no
you
for
take
F
when
tier.
you're really good at the game and your little brother wants to play with you.
It's the mom said let your brother play on your account,
Yeah.
and you don't want to ruin your stats,
Your
you don't want to
ratios,
drop from.
yeah. So what
Yeah,
happens
you
is
don't
you
want to
have
go
that one
from
teammate that dies 3
top
times, and
500
then
Shaggy to
you, the carry,
top
just gets
3000.
armor playing it. So I don't know. I think
Yeah,
this is
no.
trash still.
F tier. Immediate F tier. I don't see a single use for
Yeah,
this.
I kind of agree.
There's no reason you should be using the slippery customer.
Yeah.
10% increase or 10% longer dodge and vulnerability windows.
And then an extra 5%
15%
on
trash.
stack.
Absolute trash for
Yeah,
that
if it's
5%.
not double, it's really tough to sell me on it compared to some of the other stuff. I think
Yeah,
that
but for this perk specifically, with characters like Iron Giant who have such large hitboxes,
yeah.
very, very good.
Yeah, I think the longer dodge window is the best of the dodge options.
Yeah, I think all characters, or at least most of them, have use for this perk. A
Yeah.
reason to run it. I think it's low A, high B.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I
Exactly
think
that
it's
spot.
about yeah. I think it's about as good as everything as all the other good perks. I don't think it falls flat.
Alright, next up,
The air.
Kryptonian Skin.
Oh shoot,
Reduced
I'm
4%.
definitely on the right page. I'm definitely not looking at the wrong perk.
Oh, what have you got?
I was looking at I was hovering over Clear the Air when I meant to be on the top row.
Ah,
So I was looking at the wrong perk. Kryptonian Skin, 4% reduced incoming damage, 6% when your ally also runs this perk. Again with the
so doubling up kind of
it is a
sucks.
50%.
But
It's not a 100% increase, but it is a 50% increase.
all the time, 4% reduced. Not terrible.
All the time.
All the time.
Let's think about this.
All damage.
Is
Including
4%
ignite damage.
gonna save you?
No, but we've played it in the past where we've run 3 defensive perks on one person and 3 offensive perks on the other
Definitely, but
person.
did it ever actually save us?
Yeah, I think it went well. Oh no, it was 2
Oh.
defensive perks and ignite on Wonder Woman and Tom and Jerry with 3 offensive perks. I think it went well.
Honestly, I think it went well, but honestly, instead of running Kryptonian Skin, why not just run something like Slippery Customer to avoid getting hit altogether?
Just never get hit. Just dodge
And just
perfectly all
don't
the
get.
time.
It's just like it's the same logic as running Stronger Than Ever.
Yeah.
Do you honestly think that you're gonna get hit that often?
I think this is
Or
one of those
4% is
perks
gonna make
that's
all the difference
good
in the world?
for low skill players and will never ever be used in high tier play.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna ever get used in high tier play. I think Slippery Customers can be used more, or some other
Dodge perk.
dodge
maybe.
perk.
Yeah, or jump perks or something. So I think this is
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
D
definitely.
tier.
I don't think it's D tier. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's more of like a C tier. It depends on how good you are at the game,
Hmm.
how quick what your ping is. Also, ping can be a major factor because
The
like
worse
me,
you are, the
I
better
play at
Kryptonian Skin
400.
is. True,
I'm
true.
playing at 400 ping, so it's a real question of do I really think I'm gonna be able to dodge an attack while being like 4 seconds behind everyone else?
Dodge anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's C tier. I think it definitely has a use. But
Okay,
I
next
don't
one.
think it's gonna get used in high tier.
Back to back. This was one that I was in love with
Wonder Twin
on a technical test, which is called Wonder Twin
Okay.
Powers Activate.
I
something.
don't think. Yeah, it was something like that.
I do
I
think it's actually
it can
good.
be used, but you have to play around it. It
I
has
yeah,
amazing
I
scaling,
think
like an
it's
100% increase.
yeah, I think it's all about your team. So I think this is a
Definitely.
insane Wonder Woman perk because she can always dash you at any time.
Yeah, she can always have it active if she really wants to.
Exactly. I think same goes for Steven. Steven can sit on an ally pretty easily. Same with the Rain Dog, actually. Rain Dog has a button that says activate back to back.
Most supports have very, very good use for it.
Yeah.
But with something like Double Assassin, I don't see you two playing off each other very often. I think it's more of a who can juggle them the fastest and recover.
Yeah, maybe. I still think this is
I
very
don't-
good. I still think this
it's
is
a
at
really good
least
perk,
B
yes.
tier.
Definitely.
It's at
I
least
think
B
mid B tier
tier.
is where it belongs.
And then, like, if you're playing a character that really abuses it, then maybe it feels like A tier, but I think it's B tier overall.
Here's the thing. If you're not in a duo, right, and you're playing with randoms,
Then
how
this is
likely are
dog
they
shit.
to really
All
play
of the
around you?
perks are dog shit if you're if you're not in a duo,
The
basically.
game is dog shit if you're not.
You
in a
just
duo.
run 3 Kryptonian Skin if you're not in a duo, because it's the only thing that's ever gonna do anything for you.
No. That's wrong. That's wrong. You run double Kryptonian Skin, stronger than ever for your teammate.
Yeah.
Because you know that they're probably
They're
playing
probably gonna
Steven
just
and gonna
run
get
off the
killed,
edge
throw
4
into an
times.
elasticity.
Yeah.
So they're gonna fucking play Steven, they're gonna go and throw their wall in front of you, and the
Yeah.
enemy team's gonna try and kill
It's
you
gonna
off of
grief
it.
you nonstop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Boundless Energy. Your team receives 10% faster dodge invulnerability recharge. This feels so niche.
Okay, but here's the thing with this, is with it doubling at 100%, right?
Mm.
Although Slippery Customer is gonna give you your vulnerability windows.
So your dodge time for missing an ability is wider, and then this lets you do it more often.
This lets you do it more often. So if you don't think that you need the extra time to dodge, but you need to be able to do it more often, like with Iron Giant specifically, I think it could be a good perk. I think any character who needs to dodge often is gonna want to run this. But
I think the next 2 perks are much more likely to show up than Boundless Energy, personally.
Clearly, okay, Sturdy Dodger, 100%.
And
Clear
clear
the
the air, I
air?
think, are more
No. No,
likely.
why would you use Clear the Air? If you're, let's say you've already dodged the projectile,
But
right?
reflect.
Why would you need to destroy it?
Reflect projectile.
Your team destroys enemy projectiles after successfully neutral dodging the projectile.
Or instead,
Reflect the projectile. Okay,
reflect.
so it reflects it, but you have to run it at 2. And I don't think I want to ever run a dodge perk at 2.
Maybe, we'll see. I think Boundless Energy is okay. I think Clear the Air has more utility, and I think Sturdy Dodger is best all round.
I think Sturdy Dodger is the best one. I think Clear the Air is the worst one of the 3, and then Boundless
Really?
Energy is neutral.
Okay.
I
So what,
honestly do
BBA?
not think of a use of Clear. And VBE.
E for Sturdy Dodger.
Yeah, someone can have. No. No. By the rankings. Okay, so Sturdy, B. Boundless, B. It's above average. Clear the Air, C tier. I don't see a use for it.
Okay.
And
I think-
unless if you're running it at 2.
Yeah, I think Sturdy Dodger is the best of the 3.
And 100%. Especially with its, what is that? 300% scaling?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that'd definitely be a good perk.
It's your team as well, it's not just you.
Yeah, definitely.
So it goes from 2 seconds to 6 seconds, not 1 second to 3 seconds, if you think about it.
Your team receives armor for 1 second. No, because the cooldown starts at the same time.
No,
So it's
I
gonna bring down at the same rate.
man hours, not duration.
Oh, yeah.
Because you both have 1 second at the same time, and that's 2 seconds. You both have 3 seconds at the same time, and that's 6 seconds. So your team receives armor for a long time. Which is kind of crazy, I think.
Yeah, so you get rewarded for dodging attacks, and let's say you need to dodge back to back, and you happen to run out of invulnerability. It's not going to cause a problem because you have armor.
Yeah, you just don't get punished as hard.
See, here's the thing: is neutral dodging? There's neutral dodging, right? That's when you don't move and you just dodge.
Yeah, I almost
feel like
never
I
do
need to
that.
do
I always
directional
dodge
dodging more.
directional. Yeah,
Exactly.
I think that's
why I'm
something that
thinking
you would need
Boundless
to
Energy is
trade.
better.
I think you would need to
That's why I
train
think so,
yourself to do
Boundless
that.
Energy, or-
But it's a
the previous
projectile. You
ones
see it
we had.
coming, right?
You just gonna sit there and you're like,
So it's
I'm gonna do
easier to
this.
spot dodge on a projectile than it is on a player.
true. Alright, so
I think.
then it's gonna be.
I think it stays out. I think we've called it. I don't think we need to reevaluate. I think we go to the next one.
Alright.
Absorb and go. Your team receives a 7%
7%
ability cooldown
after being
refund.
knocked back by a projectile.
And more than doubles up. I actually like this one.
15%. I think it's good. Why
This
the
is
fuck
a
do I have to
Taz
be
one.
hit in order for it to proc?
This is a Taz one. I think this is one that he unlocks in it.
I think it's matchup dependent, because like if you're facing Velma Grey Health with like TJ,
Yeah.
definitely use this. 100%, because they're going to be knocked back. You want to be able to get rewarded for being hit just like there.
I also feel like you need to be playing a character that has cooldowns. I don't ever
Yeah,
put anything on cooldown with Taz. I don't.
He doesn't need it. I think it's more for his teammate, because he
Whereas,
needs a lot of
like-
support teammates like Raindog.
Velma, I'm always waiting for my cooldowns to come off non-stop. I'm standing around getting
It's
punished.
just like with Wonder Woman, where you just gotta sit there for 60 or 8. You're able to get
Yeah.
your Elasto up like almost 3 times in the time it takes you to get your shield back once.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this would be
Ridiculous.
really good for Wonder Woman. I think this would be really good for some long cooldown characters, especially if your teammate's just getting beaten around, or if your enemy team's playing a mega projectile comp. But it's pretty
think it could be.
dependent.
It is dependent, exactly, and that's why it's not gonna be super high ranked.
Yeah.
I think it's low B, just because it's not as good as some of the other cooldown perks.
Uh-huh.
But it's definitely good. Depending on the matchup.
Okay.
School me once.
Oh, I closed it. What the hell? Here we go.
How are you feeling about it?
School me once. I don't know, maybe this is the Taz one I'm thinking of. But your team receives a projectile block buff for 2 seconds after being knocked back by a projectile. This is the counter Velma one, where after
Yeah,
she
that's the
locks you on with
anti-Velma.
the megaphone and then sends 3 bubbles at you,
It's like, oh,
only one
no.
bubble will hurt of the stack. which is really,
Yeah,
really
it's like,
strong.
oh no, not 3 automatic hits. Whatever will I do?
Yeah.
It's only gonna
Now,
do 1
for
hit.
that
It's not gonna matter.
specific circumstance, you don't need to double up on it,
Yeah,
because it's pretty unlikely that's just going to stretch it out for that long. But it's pretty devastating against that comp in particular. This is probably the first big counter one that we've
I
come
think
across.
yeah.
Been like this beats
I
one thing.
think if you're playing into projectile matchups often, if it turns into a projectile meta, this is gonna become a staple.
Yeah, baby. On at least one of two people, of your two
Yeah,
teammates.
honestly, it's gonna become a staple 1 of. It's never gonna be a 2 of.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna become a staple 1 of just because, you know, it's gonna be projectile meta. You
Especially
get
if you're
hit
playing
once, they'll
tank
probably
support.
be able to combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think that this is gonna be used on someone like Iron Giant.
Yeah,
Maybe
Iron
Wonder Woman.
Giant, because he has a gigantic hitbox. Wonder Woman probably
Yeah, he
pretty good
gets
for
hit
this.
so often. He gets hit so often and he can't do anything about it.
Um, yeah, so I think that's probably A
Alright.
tier, honestly.
It's A tier if you're playing into a projectile matchup. This is almost a must run.
Yeah.
I feel like. All right, cool. We'll throw it into a low A tier.
Alright,
As
utility.
median trigonometry, your team receives 15% increase based knockback influence. Okay, I think
You
that
get
this will
almost
work
double on
very, very
stack.
good in things like in any perk that procs off of knockback. This is gonna work amazing.
Yeah.
So if knockback ends up becoming, and especially with it goes up by 10%, right? With a base of 15 going up to 25%, right?
Mm,
That's a lot.
it is,
That's a
yeah.
lot of knockback, honestly. I think it's consistently good.
It's not
Would
more
I personally
knockback.
use it?
It's you have more control over what direction the knockback is.
Okay, so I may be a little bit stupid. I may have misread that.
Yeah.
I
Just
may have
flat
misread that.
knockback would be fucking broken. No, this
Imagine
is
though, like 25% increased knockback. That'd be
yeah.
funny.
This is you get more control over what direction
Okay.
you're knocked. So you know when you get hit up into the
Yeah,
sky
so when you
and you
get thrown up into
directional
the sky, you're able
yourself
to pick
so
which
that
way
you
you want to
don't get
go in.
knocked out. Yeah, that's what this is. So this
Okay,
is
then I
good
don't
for
see use for
rescuing yourself, but I don't think it's that good.
I don't
I think
think
this
it's
is
worth using.
okay.
It
I
was
think
here
this is
like,
C
wow,
tier.
25% base increase in knockback. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's that good.
But yeah, no. I'm thinking that would sound so stupid in the video. It's gonna be like, dude, this kid is
And
fucking
Milk
stupid.
was an idiot.
Can't even read.
Yeah,
And
it's
Milk
okay.
can't read.
That's alright. Alright, next up, in a
Alright.
single bound.
Low, very low. Increase jump speed.
I think this is shit.
Okay, I know that this is gonna sound stupid, but I think it's gonna be good, and here's why. Jake and his skateboard, you can use his skateboard low to the ground.
Yeah.
The quicker you're able to jump, the quicker that you're able to start the animation for it. And people aren't gonna have as much time to react.
They
Or
already
like Iron
barely
Giant
can
with all of
react.
his down smash abilities, he's gonna be able to do them quicker.
Yeah.
Superman, I think those three, they're gonna have an amazing use for this. Or even Steven with his shield slide.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's
I don't know
average.
why, but I can't pronounce the letter S.
I think it's C tier.
I think it's very average. I don't think it's anything above. I don't think it's below average. I think it's a little bit above. Like higher C tier. Not like high, but like.
Not like high as in B.
Yeah. Yeah, high as in feet, you know.
Okay.
High as in meters.
Yeah. Next up, Leg Day Champ.
I think it could be good. Leg Day Champ. That's an amazing name.
It
First
is,
off.
So 10% increased jump height
height.
and only 50% increase on stack. I think this is dog
Okay,
shit.
someone like Batman. Yeah, I don't see.
No, again, this
maybe-
is the same
maybe
thing as
Batman.
dodge window. If the window is 10 pixels, you get 1 pixel. Like, I don't think it's really gonna,
People with a low jump. I know, but people with low jump heights, they might need to run this.
I still don't think I could pick this over a damage perk. I still don't think I would want this over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's less of a question of how good the perk is itself. It's if I'd rather have something else, I think.
Yeah, or if there's a
I've
champ
been
that
basing
thinks,
it off of how good is the perk on its own rather than what would I rather use.
is there a character that says this is a must include, you know? And I don't think there is.
Yeah.
I don't think that this is better than anything else. I don't think this takes up one of my 3 slots. Ever. I think this is F.
How do we feel about gravity manipulation?
I think it's worse.
No, I think it's better.
Nah,
'Cause I would rather not, because if you're playing a character with high jump, the last thing you need is higher jump.
True. I really like this on Taz. My signature move for Taz is to mid-air side B and drop and fast drop, because you get a
Yeah, I
high
could see
hitbox
that.
on them, and it's really hard for them to do anything about it. And if you see some of my gameplay from earlier today, it like stacks really easy onto them, and they can't really do anything. That's
So
the only case where I see this being good,
basically,
where you have a good fast drop attack. And so I rate this pretty low, honestly.
okay, finally it's working. What I was trying to go say is, characters who need this perk definitely need this perk, but I don't see it being staple, you know?
No, I think it's just niche. I see this as good on Taz because of
Hit
that
me if you're
one way that
able.
I play the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hit me if you're able. I think it's one of the better dodge perks.
I agree.
I think it's. I wouldn't say it's the best dodge perk, but I definitely say it's a good one.
Yeah. It's probably the easiest value dodge perk.
I think it's better than sturdy dodge or sturdy dodger because you're gonna get a little bit more use out of it.
I think it's
But it's
much
not
better.
quite
I
the
think it's
best
better
value.
than all of the defense dodge perks. Even better than longer
I don't
dodge
know.
window. Because that's the thing, if your reaction speed is slow, if you have more than 5 ping, if you've got
Or if
been
people have,
surprised by
uh,
something, you know,
or if people have like really quick attacks that they can go and let out, like stupid
yeah,
Finn's combos,
yeah,
Iron Giant, being able to just dodge real quick to get away from them.
yeah.
I think that's gonna
I
be good.
think that's super important. So I think
Alright,
this is the
it's
best
your
dodge perk.
immediate A tier
Yeah, I
on that.
agree. I agree.
Last stand. Your team deals 10% increased damage after reaching 90% damage earlier if you're if I'm getting them to 90% or 90 damage, why would I need more damage?
Well, it's
In
you. It's
what
making a
world would
turnaround,
you
right? Like you've taken a big hit, and then now you're dealing extra damage to try
your
and get
team
it
deals
back.
some after reaching 100 damage? 100 damage on your teammates, or is
Yeah,
it 100
once
damage
you
on
are
their
at
team?
100.
If you're at 100 damage, you're
Yeah,
basically dead.
yeah, I know.
Especially in high tier gameplay. No,
It's
this is
an
never gonna be
attempt at a
used.
comeback, and the only time you see it show up is on Shaggy because he has a perk that says automatically hit rage when you hit 100 damage.
Yeah,
So he tries to like edge to 100 and then murder everyone else. But I still
that's
think that's
still
like
no.
the only case where it's good.
There's no use for it,
And
honestly.
on stack is
There's
useless
no
as
reason to run it
well.
at 2 because his only gets used once it hits
Exactly.
100.
Exactly.
Meaning you can't. If you get to 90, there's no point. You're only gonna get the extra damage, and
That's
your
it.
secondary effect isn't gonna proc.
That's exactly
In no
it.
universe would I be using Last Stand.
Yeah. I think F.
Yeah, no. F.
Straight up
Immediate
F.
F. Definite F.
Alright, next. Purists of
I'm sure.
Motivations.
Wait. I'm sure some guy is gonna come into the comments and be like, "Well, you're wrong. Actually, this is the best perk in the
Actually,
game. Here's
maybe.
why." And
Prove
he's
me
gonna say
wrong. I want to
Shaggy.
learn. Right?
Honestly, I think it'd be kind of cool, but I don't see a single universe where that is the best perk in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
English.
Alright, your team deals
Like,
15% increased damage for 10 seconds after an ally dies. So basically, you take this
I'm
and you
back with that.
take Stronger Than Ever. Your teammate just runs and dies constantly.
Your teammate constantly die. If your little brother, if you have to go and play video games with your little brother,
Exactly.
he's
And
like,
then
"Hey, why aren't you
you
playing with
just
your little brother?"
one man carry.
You lock Shaggy, you take Last Stand, and then you have your little brother who's always on 100% damage,
Yep.
triggering Stronger Than Ever, triggering Purist of Motivations, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
And you just one-shot sweep the entire enemy team.
That's it.
It's if you're playing with your little brother, so that's gonna be
That's such
F
a
tier. I'm gonna
silly
say
thing.
useful.
I agree. I don't see the point
We're
in
gonna
it.
Okay, any perk that does something like this is now called a little brother perk.
Can you
Or as
imagine
my
a
turn on the
pro
Xbox perk.
tier game where the pro has a teammate substitution with a shitter and he's like, "This is what we're doing. We're putting all these perks on so that when you die constantly, I get to carry."
They pick like this little 9-year-old. It's okay. This is gonna be someone's Make-A-Wish game. They're gonna be like, I want to
Yeah.
meet in turn your fucking. I want to
Oh
meet the
my god.
faker of multiverses or the tens of
Yeah,
multiverses.
that's it.
I want to play a game with them. Tens are faker. He's just gonna put out this exact perk combination. He's like, all right, kid, I'm ready to get carried. All
All
right,
right,
yeah,
next
no.
one.
So what are
Fancy
we gonna perk?
footwork.
Immediate F.
Increased dodge distance with a double up on
Damn,
stack.
it's almost as if this is a better version of a certain attack dodge perk.
Yeah, I think this is probably the best
Huh.
dodge perk. That and
No.
hit me if you're able, I think are tied for best.
Slippery when faint, never gonna get right. It's you have to dodge out of attack, so you can't use it when off the map. You probably won't be attacked off the map.
Yeah,
Let's see footwork. It's just better slippery when faint.
basically.
I
But
think
also, it helps you just get back to the stage with a dodge.
honestly, I don't think it's the best one, but I do think it's a good one.
I think it's tied for best. I think it's A tier.
I also think it's A tier, but I don't think it's tied.
Mid
I don't think it's
A,
even
not
a contest
AA.
really with yeah with hit me if you're able. I don't think it's tied. I think it's good. I don't think it's tied though.
Fair enough. Alright, next one. Aerial Acrobat.
Aerial Acrobat?
This is like a really niche one as well. So your team receives 10% increased
Or like
air
Lumpy Space Punch and
acceleration,
all that.
double up on
You could
stack.
run this with Lumpy Space Punch, and then you'd go and throw Shaggy and Batman on a team, and this would
I think this has
definitely
got
be it.
Superman written all over it.
Oh,
His
true,
side
can you-
special where he just
definitely
flies at
Shaggy,
you for the grab. I think this
Shaggy
is all
has to be
that.
included in that combo.
Yeah, his side special as well. It's
And
the same
especially
thing.
with his new, where he's always going to be in the air usually to avoid getting hit.
But
Being
also,
able to
this
go and
isn't
fly through the air.
this isn't necessarily just sideways. This is also vertical. This is just a better jump,
Exactly, it's also critical.
a better, faster jump. Like, yeah, in a single bound has nothing on Aerial Acrobat because Aerial Acrobat is in every direction. So it just does the same thing that the other two things do, but better, and also doubles up instead of 50% up.
Yeah,
Like, what the
exactly.
fuck? So
100% up.
this seems better all around.
B tier. I B tier.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like most characters have a use for it.
Okay.
Or
Next
the
up.
characters that really have a use for it, really have a use for it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think this is good
Triple
all
jump,
around.
extra hit. Okay, I feel like this is.
I think this is bait.
I think it's bait. Always have an extra jump if your ally is also running.
You would never stack
Okay.
this. If you're good
would never
enough to
stack
get the extra jump, you would never stack this.
The only reason why you'd run it is if you're playing like Harley Quinn or Arya Stark and you're just gonna go and juggle them to
That's-
death.
yeah.
What's gonna happen? You're gonna pick
Super
them
niche.
up and then you're gonna start juggling them off the map. You're gonna go ahead, you're gonna pick them up, you're gonna throw them up into the sky.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna sit up there and they're gonna be like, why are you still juggling me?
That's it. I
Wait a minute, does it wait, does it not wait, is it limited to only once?
One extra.
Okay, because like, imagine if it wasn't limited to once, right? Every
Then it
single
would be
time
broken.
you juggled them, you could jump again.
You would just jump infinitely. It would be broken.
You would infinitely jump, and you would literally be able to take them out of the stage.
This would be SSS tier. Like, no shot.
That'd be the best part.
Yeah.
Alright.
This is maybe B, C tier at
Last
best.
four. Number one, CoffeeZilla.
Yeah. Coffeezilla's great.
Mm.
Coffeezilla's 10% reduced ability cooldown duration, 50% all round.
Remember, wait. We put I'll take that in high A tier, like the highest A tier.
Yeah. Because it
Which do we
has.
think is better, CoffeeZilla or I'll take that?
I'll take that has a higher high end. Right. Coffeezilla is just always mid. Like if you draw a line, like I'll take that is good up, right? But then you can
Yeah.
have times where it does nothing. Coffeezilla always does something. It always does the same amount of something the whole time. So I think Coffeezilla is A tier.
Okay, but here's the thing with that, right? With the higher high end, if you have a 7-second cooldown or a 10-second cooldown, right?
Yeah.
CoffeeZilla, that's only gonna shave a second off.
Yeah.
Versus 1 sec or half a second. So every 2 hits you get, you're getting the same buff as CoffeeZilla on a 10-second perk.
Yeah. On
And
debuffs.
that's always gonna be 1 second. It's
That's the thing.
always gonna
I'll
be
take
1
that.
second.
Will always be better in high tier play. CoffeeZilla is just better in all levels of skill play.
CoffeeZilla is something that you'd run on characters with high cooldowns.
Yeah.
I'll take that is for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I'll take that as just better all around. I'll take that as probably S.
Alright, so I'll take that as gonna be the best one. CoffeeZilla is gonna be second best perk.
Yeah.
I really do think reduction is good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Me being a
Force
Velma
Assist.
player, cooldown reduction is key.
Cooldown reduction is the love of your life. Okay.
Yeah.
Forced assist. I can English sometimes.
So this gives you increased base movement speed. I really like
By the way,
this
sorry again for
on
all
a
S
few
sounds.
characters. I really like this on Jake, Finn, Taz. And I
Could
guess
see it being okay, maybe not on Finn, and here's why: mobility boots.
true, he does have the mobility boots
Again,
already.
sorry for all the S sounds. I don't know why, but
It's okay.
say S very good.
Yeah, that's fair. He does have the mobility boots, so I guess you don't really need it. On Taz, really good, and Jake because he has the running
On Taz, I could
charge
see it.
attack. I think it's also
Okay.
pretty good.
Remember earlier when we were joking about the running for Taz having them all Beyblade fight to the death?
Yeah, this
Give
is that
them
perk.
all
This
Speed
is
Force
that time.
assist.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is in the case that you actually choose to do the Beyblade fight, you throw Tune Elasticity and Speed Force Assist.
No, not Tune Elasticity. You
just-
have like the vertical damage boosts.
And,
Just like everyone crashes into each
no,
other
no,
on
the
the
horizontal
sideways.
horizontal damage boost, Tune Elasticity, Speed Force Assist.
Yeah.
You take basically no knockback, you do extra damage when you run into each other, and you run into each other at high speeds.
It's Beyblade.
It's literally just to become a Beyblade. Only reason to run this perk.
Alright, we have the
I think
last
very
one.
slow characters like Iron Giant has a place for it, but yeah.
Maybe.
I dodge,
Maybe.
you dodge, we dodge.
So this is
Your
a
team
new one, I
receives
think.
10% ability refund.
I don't remember
I could've
this
sworn
effect
that we
being
had
in the
this.
game
It just
before.
had a different name.
It
It was
definitely had a
like
different name
cooldown
at the
reduction
least.
dodge. It
But
was like
yeah.
cooldown reduction dodge.
So a
Your
flat
team receives
cooldown
10% ability
reduction.
cooldown.
So it doesn't give you extra dodges like the name implies.
Hey. But let's pause real quick. Who in their goddamn mind is running this when you could run CoffeeZilla?
You would
Same
have to
reduced
get more
cooldown.
dodges pretty often.
No. Real quickly. 15% on stacked.
Yeah.
15% on stacked. 10% always. 10% when you dodge an attack. Who the fuck is running this? Honest to God, name one situation where this would be helpful
Hang on.
instead of CoffeeZilla. Because you could either always have it active or you'd have to go out of your way to dodge an attack to get your cooldown back. There's no universe where I run this over CoffeeZilla.
So I guess the maths, right? So you go, let's say the ability cooldown time is 10 seconds. CoffeeZilla says your ability cooldown time is now 9 seconds. What iDodge does,
I dodge, you dodge, we dodge.
iDodge removes 1 second every time you dodge.
Every single time you dodge an attack.
You receive ability
Alright, so-
cooldown refund, so you'll get 10% off every time you dodge. This is very
10%
similar
every time you
to I'll Take That, where you get a half
I
second.
don't see a reason to why you'd run into a fight just to get
yeah.
your cooldown back.
The difference
Only way-
is
here's what happens
iDodge
once you
is
run out of
10%.
invulnerability though. When you run out of ability though, right?
Well, they're attacking you.
You run out
You've
of
blown your
invulnerability.
whole kit, and you're trying to stay alive while the
Yeah,
cooldowns
so you
come
burn
back.
your own kit and you're trying to come back. You'd have
I think
to
this
run this with
is
something that
not
gives
as
you
bad
your
as
ability
you
back quicker.
thought initially.
I think it's you'd have to run it because once what happens is once you run out of ability, right? You maybe will get 3 seconds back tops.
Yeah.
Saying that you're able to dodge, but imagine you're on high ping or you run out of invulnerability. It's
15%,
like, well, now I have
that's
a worthless perk.
1.5 seconds. 2 dodges is 3 seconds. 3 dodges is 5
No, but
seconds.
I'd rather have an ability that gives me flat guaranteed, or an ability that rewards me for actually hitting enemies without using my
100%.
abilities.
I think
Or
that
if I
I'll
have
take that
an
is the
attack
best
with
one.
Velmas,
But if you're playing a dodge champ like Steven, or a big window champ, or I think this is
guess.
definitely better than CoffeeZilla because you'll get more value out of it.
No, I do not think it's better than CoffeeZilla. I think
Like
it's
I said, do the
almost
maths.
worse. I do
CoffeeZilla is
think
always 1 second. Like the win,
that's
the
always 1 second. That's guaranteed versus something like this where you
yeah.
have to go
I
out of your
dodge,
way
you
to dodge
dodge,
it.
you dodge one attack, and it's more than CoffeeZilla.
You dodge one attack and it's the same as CoffeeZilla. If you
Yeah.
let's say you don't dodge twice, you have to
Then
dodge twice for it to
then
actually be worth
you've
it,
got the value out of it,
rather than
I
a
guess.
consistent. Yeah, but every single time you use your ability, right, you're getting 1 second off.
Yeah. Well,
Versus
that's the
every
thing.
time you
If the
dodge. Now, how many
cooldown
times are you
is
really gonna dodge a
small,
match?
you're not going to get that many dodges in. If your cooldown is 15 seconds, like Velma's down special, then you're probably going to be able to dodge more than one time.
I think it just depends on the cooldown of the character, I guess.
Yeah. So if you have something with long
So I
cooldowns,
guess it could
like
be in
Wonder
both
Woman
ways, where you're
does,
just not gonna
like
be
Velma
attacking
does,
very often.
then maybe where you spend some of the game dropping your whole combo and the rest of the game trying to fucking not die immediately, like I do. And maybe this is really. I still think
Makes
this is
sense.
B tier. Like my whole argument is not that this is amazing. I still think this is B tier, but I think this is not horrible like you came out of the gate saying.
I don't think it's gonna be that great.
Alright, I haven't sold you, but that's okay. We're gonna go to the last one. Retaliation
Don't think
ready.
I
Or
no longer think it's
projectile grey
as bad
health.
as it was,
But yeah,
but I
it's
still
not
don't
great.
think it's gonna be good.
It's not great, but it's not terrible. Alright, last one.
Retaliation ready.
3 grey health for 3 seconds, 4 grey health if your ally also selects this perk. So on stack,
No
I
reason
think
not
is
to.
you would never do it. You would never stack. But I think this is actually a busted perk. We were looking at this before, where Velma and Iron Giant with the grey health perk stacks insane.
Very good.
And I think that's something that we really do want to abuse in ranked at some point. And I think projectile grey health in general is very strong because like
It's yeah.
the cooldown is just how long it takes your opponents to knock the grey health off you, which is insane.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't the cooldown how long that you're gonna hold on to the grey health for? So you're always gonna be so every single time.
It's gonna be there for 3 seconds, but I mean like there's no, you can't not add grey health unless if you already have grey health. That's what I'm saying. Like that's that cooldown.
Yeah, I definitely think. Let's say that you're on like 57%, right? So you have pretty high knockback. And in grey health, you effectively are on only 3 damage.
Which is kind of crazy.
I think it's A tier.
I agree.
Alright.
And then that's all of them.
Yeah, in final, we're gonna want to go move around some perks because I know some of them might. Because I know that some of them we thought were pretty bad, but we're sitting next to ones that we thought were at least okay.
Right, what do you think needs a revisit?
You'll notice that we have no perk ranked as like very, very good.
I still think fire projectile is like S. And ice to beat you is like S. Yeah.
Ice to beat you, yeah. Until I see someone make proper plays with it, I'm still gonna leave it an A.
Okay.
Okay, let's go and pop open your stream, you know? I haven't closed that one.
But I think that is our conclusive review of all of the MultiVersus perks.
It was pretty good.
It only took an hour.
It only took an hour to go through, like, what, 40 perks?
Yeah, well, a lot of them, yeah. Something like that.
I don't know, I can't count.
But that's it. That's our tier list.
So that's gonna be
If
15,
you
19, 29, 43, 43 perks.
Yeah, there you go. That's a lot.
That's a lot of perks.
But yeah, if you thought this was helpful, leave a comment. Let us know. You know, I do want to be making more content like this if you people actually are, interested in it.
Yeah, and I think that we're gonna be able to make this again just because of how everything sits.
Yeah,
until
to
we see pro
revisit.
gameplay.
That's it.
Yeah, until we see pro gameplay, it might change everything. Like, Yeah, there's still some perks where I don't think it's ever gonna be like the little brother perks, like the Purist of Motivations and
Sure,
Stronger Than Ever.
sure.
Yeah, the little brother perks are never gonna be used.
True.
I don't think that's ever gonna be meta.
But yeah, that's it for now.
Alrighty.